Greetings and welcome to lecture number 15 on fluid dynamics. We are discussing the laminar flow. First case, we have discussed the laminar flow through a circular pipeline. The second case, we have discussed the laminar flow between fixed parallel plates. So this is the third case, and in fact, the second case of parallel plates. In this particular case, it is flow through a parallel plates, but in this case, the lower plate is stationary and the upper plate is moving with some velocity u. So such type of flow is called as a Coite flow. So uh, this is the case, that is on the similar line, we consider laminar flow between two parallel plates. Obviously, the lower plate is fixed and the upper plate is moving with some velocity u. Both plates are separated at a distance d apart. As in similar way, we consider a small element for calculating the shear or for obtaining shear stress and velocity distribution. So forces acting on this on the small element we take into account. So the upper plate, lower plate is at a distance small y from the lower face is at a distance small y from the lower plate, and the upper plate is at a distance y plus dy from the lower plate in the similar way. The forces acting on the small element, that is pressure forces and shear forces, are shown in the figure. So again, according to Newton's second law of motion, that there is summation of all forces is equal to mass into acceleration. But under steady conditions, the acceleration becomes zero. So we can equate all the forces to zero. Rearranging, we get that is delta p by delta x, that is equal to delta tau by delta y. All this equation number one. Now again, here we cannot take integration because we don't know the boundary condition between tau and y. Boundary conditions means these two boundaries. So we know that the shear stress is maximum at the boundaries, but we do not know the exact magnitude. That's why we cannot integrate this particular equation to develop expression for tau. So instead, we first develop expression for velocity distribution in a similar way. So according to Newton's law of viscosity, we have tau is equal to mu into delta v by delta y. Differentiating this with respect to y, that is delta tau by delta y, that is equal to mu into delta 2 v by delta y square. Then equating 1 and 2, we get delta p by delta x, that is equal to mu into delta 2 v by delta y square. We have to develop expression for v. So we take v term one side and remaining term on the other side. Now we integrate this particular equation twice. That is, first integration, we get this expression y plus c. The second integration, that is y square by 2 plus c1y plus c2. Now this constant of integration we can obtain using boundary conditions. As far as the boundary conditions for velocity and y is concerned, we know the boundary condition at the both plates, that is at lower plate and upper plate. Because of the viscosity, the velocity is zero. So we apply this to boundary condition, that is that y is equal to 0, v is equal to 0. Therefore, if we put these values y and v, we get C2 is equal to 0. Similarly, when at the upper plate, that is at y is equal to b, velocity is the plate velocity, capital U. If we put these boundary conditions, we get C1 is equal to u by b minus d upon twice mu delta p by delta x, that is C1. So putting the values of C1 and C2 in equation 3, we get this expression, that is u by, so and the rearranging. So instead of C1, we can put C1 is u by b into y plus 1 upon twice 1 upon mu kappa p by delta x plus this term minus term we can put here. And after rearranging, we can arrive this expression. So only this term is added in Coite flow or when the plate is moving. So here the velocity is linearly varies with y. If and this is so the velocity distribution is in Coite flow or in a plate where the lower plate is fixed and upper plate is moving. It is the velocity distribution for fixed parallel plate plus this term. So this term is only added in the previous expression, that is u by b into y. So this is a velocity distribution in Coite flow. And from this flow, we can say the velocity distribution varies parabolically. Sometimes it's very linearly also if this term is zero or if the pressure gradient is zero, then this term, velocity varies linearly with y. So both possibilities are there. It may vary parabolically or it may vary linearly depending upon the pressure gradient. So in this particular case, the pressure gradient plays important role to decide the type of flow. That is, there are three types of pressure gradient. This is negative pressure gradient. Normally, we have seen in both previous cases, that is laminar flow through circular pipe and laminar flow through fixed parallel plate. The pressure gradient is negative. Now, in this case, all three possibilities are there. We'll see that also. This is a velocity distribution in Coite flow. Now, the dimensional is, it is found convenient to present this velocity variation in the form of dimensionless equation. So we convert this Coite flow equation into a dimensionless velocity distribution. So this is a velocity distribution as we have discussed in previous slide. Now, after rearranging, we take y by b common in both sides. So v is equal to y by b. So here only u present plus y and b is additional here. So means if you multiply by b and divide by y to upward expression. So it means multiply by b means it is b square minus by, and divide by y means it is that this y get cancelled and this is only y. So this way we get this expression. So again, further simplification. Now we take u out of the bracket because v by u is dimensionless. v by u is nothing but the local velocity to the plate velocity, which may be a maximum velocity. So v by u is dimensionless. So we take u outside the bracket and take on left hand side. So what we remaining, that is y by b plus u term is there, that is b square we take outside this bracket. So b square upon twice mu u minus delta p by delta x into bracket. It is 1 minus divided by b, it is y by b. And in bracket, so this particular things is taken outside, that is, so outside the bracket, that is y by b. Because in this particular term, if we take y by b outside this bracket, then it becomes, so even if you try this. Now, let this term is called as E value. It is known as non-dimensional pressure gradient, because if this is non-dimensional and this is also non-dimensional, so means product of this and this cannot be a dimensional, because this has a dimension, this product cannot be a dimensional. This product is dimensional, and this term we know this is a dimensionless term. So obviously this is also dimensional. So we call this particular term as capital P, that is called as a non-dimensional pressure gradient. So pressure gradient term is there, that's what is called a non-dimensional pressure gradient. So by substituting the value, we'll come to this equation, which is also called as a non-dimensional velocity distribution. Now this velocity distribution we use for getting the velocity profile for different values of p. That is nothing but the difference, because this is a constant. For a particular situation, the distance between two plates is constant, dynamic viscosity of fluid is constant, and the plate velocity is also constant. So P varies with only my pressure gradient. Now, depending upon this P values, how the velocity profile also varies. So we'll check how this velocity profile varies. Now, this is the plot of U by U. In this case, it is V by U versus Y by B. So this is called the non-dimensional diagram. We consider this is the plate is moving with velocity U. The distance between plates is B. In non-dimensional form, its variation is from 0 to 1. That means when y is equal to 1, it reaches to the upper plate velocity. And similarly, when u is equal to capital A, we can arrive to this equation here. This is the maximum possible velocity. So velocity can exceed this velocity in these two cases, for excessive cases. And the velocity may fall below 0. So that is these two cases. So two extreme cases are there. And you can see here from the diagram. So this profile changes with the value of P. So how it changes with the value of P, that will see. So there are three possible cases of P. So first case, that is if dabba P by dabba X is equal to 0. If this is equal to 0, then P is equal to 0. That means no pressure gradient. So this is happen when there is no pressure gradient, when this plate velocity or when the flowing velocity is equal to 0. U is equal to 0. So what will happen if we substitute P is equal to 0? So V by, or that is local velocity by plate velocity, that is equal to Y by B. So we can say that velocity varies linearly with Y. That means flow is said to be plane Coite flow. So this condition generally arises when the fluid in between is not flowing. Whatever the movement of fluid, that is because of the movement of this plate. So that situation is similar to our Newton's law of viscosity. The similar in Newton's law, while describing Newton's law of viscosity, while deriving Newton's law of viscosity, we have considered two plates, that is bottom plate is fixed, upper plate is moving with some velocity. And in between there is a fluid which is stationary. And the fluid which is moving, that is because of this plate velocity. Under that circumstances, it is found that it varies linearly with the y. So obviously this is the curve where when y by b is equal to 0, so obviously v by u, that is also equal to 0. If this is 1, if this is 0.2, this is also 0.2. If this is 0.4, y by b is 0.4, v by u is also 0.4. If this is 0.6, v by u is also 0.6. If this is 0.8, v by u is also 0.8. And this is 1, that is v by u is also 1. So this is called as a plane Coite flow, and that condition arises when the P value is 0, and P value is 0 when pressure gradient is 0. Pressure gradient is 0 means the fluid in between is stationary, but it is moving only with the movement of this plate. So it reaches to the maximum velocity, so the layer adjacent to the upper plate possesses the same velocity. So here we can see the velocity reaches maximum velocity of the plate velocity. This is the first condition. So that condition generally arises when the fluid in between is stationary. The second condition, in that case, if the dabba P by dabba X is positive, this is positive, then P is negative. Because if this is positive, the bracket term is negative, so P is negative. So for P is negative, that means this value is negative because this value is always less than 1. So this value is always positive. Y by B is less than 1. So if P is negative, then V by U is less than Y by B because Y by B minus this term comes. So for example, if Y by B is 0.2, so U by U is not equal to 0.2, it's slightly less than 0.2. So in this case, we can see if Y by B is 0.2, so V by U, it comes around 0.1 or 0.05. If it is 0.4, we can say it comes around minus. So it comes below 0. So in that case, this value, suppose for 0.4 value, if Y by B is 0.4 value, then this term comes negative. This term comes negative means there is a negative velocity gradient. So means the velocity, there is a possibility of reversal flow. So here we can say the reversal flow is taking place. So all these three cases we can say, or two cases we can say, here also it is negative. But here, when the pressure gradient or when the P value is -1, that is when the pressure gradient is positive. But still U by U in this case, that is V by U, that is still 0 at some, but it is still not below 0. And still there is no possibility of reversal flow. But with further increase of pressure gradient, so there is a possibility. So for example, if further increase of pressure gradient is taking place, so that is with kappa P by kappa X is increased because there is only this variable. So with further increase of this value, so there is a possibility of reversal. So this is too low that this particular term comes negative. So we can realize from this particular term. So here, if it is -2, then for 0.4, this value is less than 0. So that means in this particular zone, there is a possibility of reversal flow. But later on, if we go on increasing Y by B value, it reaches to the maximum, that is, but the velocity doesn't exceed the plate velocity in all these three cases. In fact, in all four cases, from 0 to -3. So this is the zone where the pressure gradient is positive. But if the pressure gradient is too positive, so if there is this value is much greater than 0, then there is a possibility of reversal flow. In that circumstances, it is called as an adverse pressure gradient. So we can say for these two P values, so that is for these two P values, the pressure gradient becomes adverse. This is called as an adverse pressure gradient. Here the pressure gradient is positive, but it is not adverse. Still, there is no reversal flow text. So this is a second case, and that possibility is there when the plate velocity is much greater than this velocity. In that case, there is a possibility of reversal flow as well. Because B by U is less than Y by B. So continuously, if this particular term increases, then this term, if it comes negative, then especially in these two cases, and for only these values, so that is up to 0.6, we can say. Here, in this is a zone where there is a possibility of reversal. Even for this case, here the pressure velocity becomes positive, but only in this particular zone or near the stationary plate and just below the 50% portion, there is a possibility of reversal, which is not desirable. That's why it is called as adverse pressure gradient. Then the third case, when this dabba P by dabba X is negative, then this is negative, then bracket term becomes positive. Hence P is positive. Because when dabba P by dabba X is negative, bracket term is positive, and then P is positive. So when P is positive, we can say V by U is always greater than y by b. Suppose that means this value is greater. Suppose, for example, if this is 0.2, and for these cases 1, 2, 3, so v by u, so in this case it's u by u, it is comes around from, this is for 1, it comes, so this is 0.2, so 0.2 for this one curve, it comes around 0.4. So 0.4 for this one curve, it comes around 0.6. So v by u is always greater than y by b. So that is for 1, and it keeps on increasing. So some stage is reached, suppose for these two values. So there are some portion where the flow velocity is greater than the plate velocity. So this is the case where this is the line where the plate velocity is equal to the flow velocity. But after this particular point, especially for 0.6 and 2, 0.6 and 3, okay, so where we can see the velocity exceeds the plate velocity. But this is a favorable condition because most of the flow systems, it is advisable to have a negative pressure gradient or favorable pressure gradient, so that the flow is taking place along the direction of flow, along which it, where it wants. So mainly the flow is taking place means we intended to see that particular flow in this direction only. That's why this is a favorable pressure gradient. So these are the different conditions for Coite flow, and according to the p values, so that is p values varying from 0 to 3 and p values varying from -1 to 3, -3. So this zone is called as a positive pressure gradient. This zone is called as a negative pressure gradient, which is also called as a favorable pressure gradient. Even for positive pressure gradient, this is not adverse pressure gradient, but these two conditions, when p is equal to -2 and when p is equal to -3, in that case it becomes an adverse pressure gradient. So this is about the variation of velocity across the cross section, across the one particular section in Coite flow. Slightly a complex flow, we can say, where all three possible pressure gradients are there: zero pressure gradient, positive pressure gradient, and negative pressure gradient. And all it depends on the relative velocity between the plate and the flow. Now the velocity distribution in Coite flow in the same we can depict with the help of this diagram. So this is adverse pressure gradient. So if the delta P by delta X is too much greater than 0, then the reversal flow is possible. Here the delta P by delta X is greater than 1, so greater than 0, but still it is not called as adverse pressure gradient, which is on the boundary, because there is no possibility of reversal flow. Still it is acceptable. If the delta P by delta X is 0, then the velocity varies linearly with y. This is p is equal to 0. And if the delta P by delta X is greater than, if it is negative pressure gradient, that is if it is less than 0, then the favorite, no negative variation. So this is the profile which is called as slightly a parabola. If further increase, in that case, it may exceed the plate velocity. So this is plate velocity. So pressure decreases in the direction of upper plate. So this is way of profiling. In this particular case, the velocity at upper boundary is not 0 because it possesses the plate velocity, unlike in fixed parallel plate. So these are the velocity profiles for different p values in Coite flow. Just a repetition, just the magnified way I have explained here. Then as far as the shear stress distribution is concerned, in a similar way, the distribution of shear stress in the flowing fluid across any section of the parallel plates may be substituting in Newton's law of viscosity, tau is equal to mu into delta V. We are putting the value of local velocity here and differentiating. So differentiating, we get, that is, you can take this from outside the bracket. So it is u by b into mu plus 1/2 mu get cancelled, minus dabba p by dabba x in bracket. This differentiation is b minus 2y. This is the expression of tau. Again, if we compare this expression with the expression of fixed parallel plate, only this term is added here. This tau is equal to mu into u by v. This is nothing but again Newton's law of viscosity in integral form, and this term is added. So this is when plane Coite flow. So when this pressure gradient is dabba p by dabba x, in fact, this equation printing mistake. When dabba p by dabba x is 0, then this term is 0. That is for plane Coite flow. Then the equation reduces to this. So this is a most generalized expression where it varies linearly with. So this is a linearly with shear stress varies linearly with y. But here the center is not necessarily at the center. So the tau value is 0, not necessarily at the center. It may vary somewhere close to the upper plane. So that distance we can calculate by applying the condition of minimization, that is differentiation of this with respect to y and equating to 0. We can get this y value. Okay, so where we get the shear stress is 0. So this is the variation. Here it may be a parabolic. At this point, it may be linear. Both cases are there when the favorable pressure gradient as well as zero pressure gradient. I'm not showing here the negative pressure gradient. So, the actual application of this particular Coite flow in journal bearing case. This is a journal bearing is which generally support the rotating shaft, and this is the surface which is highly made up of high friction resistance. And in between there is a oil which acts as a cushioning effect. So this shaft is rotating. In actual case, it rotates at a very high speed. So it supports, it acts as a cushioning effect. And here we can say the Coite flow exists because this surface is fixed, this surface is moving. So we can apply this theory to curved surface as well, to micro level. This is the practical application of Coite flow. When the fluid is flowing now, there are all two cases available because in low load conditions, generally only the thin film is provided here. So that film is stationary film. So in that case, the pressure gradient is 0. So this is a practical occurrence where the pressure gradient is 0. When the load on the bearing is high, then we need to provide some pressurized fluid. So the holes are provided. And because to maintain, sustain that particular field. In that case, the oil is also flowing and the plate, or in this case, the surface is also moving. So that is actually called as a favorable pressure gradient. To sustain the load, generally the pressurized fluid is injected in the passage so that that film remain in that particular position. That is, the thickness of the film will be maintained due to pressure. So these are some practical application, the basic main practical application I have prepared here. So that's it from this particular session. Like previous session, this at the end of this particular session, you will be able to derive an expression of velocity and shear stress for laminar flow between parallel plates. In that bottom plate is fixed and upper plate is moving. So that is also called as a Coite flow. And secondly, we can exhibit the different characteristics of the velocity pattern or different patterns of the velocity distribution across the section, where because of the different pressure gradient like zero pressure gradient, positive pressure gradient, and negative pressure gradient, the velocity profile keeps changing. So that also you can exhibit how it changes, and you could able to code the application of this Coite flow as well, where is used in engineering application, we can say. So that's it from this particular section. Thank you very much.